Goblins, those feeble creatures, are often considered the weakest of enemies. It is almost laughable how a party of 6 warriors struggles to fend off a mere few goblins. Their weapons swing aimlessly, unable to strike a single blow, and their spells fall flat, failing to hit the mark. Haru and Ranta oversleep, neglecting their breakfast duty. Meanwhile, Maguzo, Yume, and Shihoru busy themselves with preparing the morning meal. Minato checks up on them, but their conversation is tainted by fragmented memories of their past lives, memories that are slowly losing their significance. Haru recalls waking up in this mysterious world of Grimgar a few weeks ago. Upon awakening in a dimly lit room, Haru hears multiple voices echoing in his ears. As he steps out of the room, he sees the faces that correspond to those voices, the rest of his party members and a few others. Confusion clouds their minds as they struggle to remember how they arrived here and where here even is. Their path intertwines with Brittany, the eccentric chief of the volunteer soldier squad in Orana. Presented with a choice between volunteering and starvation, the group finds themselves at a crossroads. Renji, one of the individuals who woke up in Grimgar, insults Brit and labels him a pervert. To everyone's astonishment, Brittany springs to his feet, brandishing a blade and making it clear that no one defames him without consequences. It becomes evident that calling him a perv is a surefire way to meet a gruesome end in this world of soldiers. In their training, they receive a meager sum of 10 silver pieces each, a small compensation to sustain them until they can earn money by slaying monsters and selling any valuables they come across. Renji's party consists of the strongest members, while Haru's party is left with the leftovers. Minato realizes the importance of joining guilds if they wish to serve as volunteer soldiers. The group engages in a discussion about their roles, and they each embark on separate paths to train. Haru decides to become a thief and heads to the Thieves' Guild. His new instructor immediately ambushes him, described as a seductive yet sadistic teacher according to Haru's observations. After completing the initial 7 days of training, Haru acquires the nickname Old Cat, due to his squinty eyes, as Ranta jests. Meanwhile, Yumi joins the Hunters Guild, Shihoru joins the Mages Guild, Ranta joins the Dark Knights Guild, Moguzo joins the Warriors Guild, and Minato joins the Priests Guild. The party reconvenes, sharing tales about their experiences with their guild instructors as they prepare to venture into the forest in search of goblins. However, even 2 goblins prove to be too much for them, leading to yet another fruitless excursion. It marks the 13th day without earning a single copper, and Haru finds it difficult to sleep. During his restless night, Haru encounters Minato, a being of magic, who awakens alongside him after gathering information at the local tavern. They engage in conversation under the crimson moon, and Haru realizes that the moon in this world is unlike the one he remembers from his past. The next day, the party sets out to scout for a lone goblin to engage in combat. They stumble upon one standing by the river, but any hopes of a stealthy approach are quickly dashed when Ranta charges towards the goblin. Haru finds himself facing the goblin alone, fighting for his life. The group regains their composure as Haru takes a dagger to the shoulder, managing to retaliate by stabbing the goblin in the neck. However, their celebration is cut short when the goblin springs back to life, ready to attack once more. Ranta swiftly intervenes, repeatedly stabbing the goblin until it finally falls. The party is left in shock. This is the first time they have taken a life. They decide to sell the silver piece and Black Wolf's fang they looted from the goblin and take the rest of the day off for some much-needed shopping. Later, as the group prepares for bed after bathing, Ranta reveals his plan to sneak into the bath to catch a glimpse of the girls. The others vehemently object, and the guys apologize, except for Ranta, who confesses to breaking the wall in an attempt to peep. He receives a well-deserved slap from Yume and is sent out into the rain. The tension between the guys and girls lingers, making tracking impossible. The following 3 days prove unfruitful, with the party unable to earn a single copper. Determined to improve their skills, they decide to head to the old city of Demoro to practice tactics and hunt down goblins, hoping to take on multiple enemies at once. Finally, luck is on their side as they acquire loot and earn some money. Haru can finally buy new underwear, having worn the same clothes since arriving in Grimgar. Despite her shyness, Shihoru is encouraged to speak with the boys, while Haru values Minato as both the group leader and a friend. Before bed, Haru double-checks how long they've been in Grimgar and realizes it has been 23 days. The party acquires new skills and plans to practice them on goblins. Yume focuses on close-quarters combat before becoming proficient with a bow. She uses the diagonal cross technique to assist Haru in taking down a goblin, and she yells the name of the skill, Anger, each time she uses it, as well as for every other skill. Moguzo expresses gratitude every time he uses his new skill, Rage Blow. Minato learns the skill Smash to be more effective on the front lines while still providing healing support. During their training, so far though, Minato skips over Haru when going over everyone's unique strengths they bring to the team. He vows to ask him later if he ever gets the chance. Haru notices a crossbow bolt reflecting in the sun as he walks behind Minato, quickly leaping into action to push him out of harm's way. Haru takes the bolt to his left shoulder and one through his left calf. In the chaos, more goblins appear, including an unusually large one with a massive club, and a skinny blue goblin much taller than any they've encountered before. The party retreats, but just when they think they're safe, Minato collapses with an arrow lodged in his back. The party rushes Minato to the priest guild, pleading with Manito's master to heal him. However, they are informed of a curse that reanimates corpses after 3 to 5 days. The master priest advises them to cremate Minato's body to avoid such a fate. Devastated, the party pays for a funeral and gravestone to honor their fallen comrade. As they stand over Minato's grave paying their respects, Ranta decides to leave, earning another slap from Yumi. He ends up in the tavern where Haru and Moguzo find him. The trio engages in a heated discussion about Minato's death, who is responsible, and what they should do next. One of the Grimgar locals overhears their conversation and joins them, wondering about their missing leader. He suggests finding a new priest and even has a name in mind. Mary is noticeably aloof and distant from the rest of the party. She disagrees with their chosen strategy and adamantly refuses to provide healing during battles. Ranta frequently loses his temper with her, but Mary doesn't hesitate to put him in his place. Back at the tavern, Haru, Ranta, and Moguzo gather to share drinks and lament the recent additions to the party. Unexpectedly, Renji enters the tavern and approaches their table. He offers his condolences upon hearing about Manito's death, symbolized by tossing a gold coin onto their table before walking away. Haru calls after him, drawing attention from the entire tavern, and refuses to accept the money as charity, believing it isn't what Minato would have wanted. Haru realizes he needs to apologize to the girls for not consulting them about new party members. He approaches them and asks if they're upset about being left out of the decision-making process. In response, one of the girls shoves him against the wall and clarifies that the lack of communication is the real issue. Haru sincerely apologizes, and they both break down, finding solace in their shared grief over Minato. They embrace and lie together on the ground. As they do, Yumi accidentally sees them in a compromising position, leading to a series of apologies, although she eventually realizes why they were embarrassed. Ranta, however, refuses to believe their explanation and insists that something is going on between Yumi and Haru, despite their futile attempts to explain otherwise. The party members resolve to be friendlier to Mary. She eventually heals Moguzo after a battle but still refuses to heal Ranta's scratches. Mary visits the tavern but doesn't acknowledge the rest of the party, and they reciprocate by ignoring her presence as well. Seated alone at the bar, she strikes up a conversation with another party's leader. Haru speculates that Minato intended him to be the successor as party leader, prompting him to engage in conversations with Manito's ghost. Embracing the role of a leader, Haru assesses the party's fighting style strengths and identifies their equipment needs, such as getting a helmet for Moguzo. The entire party agrees to contribute to purchasing it. Haru invites the party, excluding Mary, to meet with the person who spoke with her at the tavern the other night. To their surprise, the person reveals that one of his party members used to be part of Mary's group. He explains why Mary acts cold and reserved, recounting the group's encounter with a dangerous giant cobalt named Deathspots. Mary used to be like Manito, always proactive and helpful, until her party was decimated by Deathspots. Left with depleted magic, 2 dead party members, and a third near death. Mary was dragged out of the mines by Hayashi to save her life. Blaming herself for their deaths, Mary hasn't smiled since. Learning about her past helps the party empathize with her and sparks a desire to assist her in overcoming her grief. While scouting with Yum, Haru notices the dagger he dropped when Manito died and nearly rushes in without considering the consequences. Yumi tackles him, prompting them to take a more level-headed approach. They decide to tail the goblins and locate their hideout. Haru summons Mary to talk and expects her to be expelled from the party, but instead he explains the party's loss of Minato and emphasizes that they are not mere acquaintances, but friends who consider her one of their own. They equipped Maguzo with a specialized helmet and continued their rigorous training, honing their skills and building a reputation as renowned goblin slayers. They used their earnings to invest in better gear and acquire new abilities. Haru began noticing a mysterious green light that seemed to guide his dagger strikes, ensuring they always hit vital points for instant kills. However, the haunting memories of their loss made it difficult for them to sleep peacefully. At night, Haru would find solace in talking to himself, imagining Minato's presence so he could seek advice. But the passage of time started to blur. The red moon became their only reliable indication of time. Thank you for staying until the end of this thrilling adventure. Remember to subscribe for more captivating tales like this, and also like for part 2.